Ta-da! I feel like I was listening to a symphony. Beautiful. Good for Sunday vibes. Hello, everybody. Tanya with Adventures for Connection. And, of course, the lovely Norma Jean. Norma Jean, how you doing today?
Yeah, you know me. Yeah, staying focused, intentional about what we got going on and what we're creating, bring together, and just anticipation of the excitement of what we're creating and doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. And my job is to be floaty and let go. And every time I tried to do something, I was like, you can't post that video because of this. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm not doing that today. I've been clearly shown.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Right? Yeah, and I'd way rather be the butterfly. Yeah. Hi, Into the Void. Hi, Patty. Good to see you. All right, awesome. So today we have a topic for you. And as we go through this, make sure if it resonates with you, give us a thumbs up. This one's really almost like it's for me, it's who I am. And when I kept trying to come back to why can I be so calm when everything's chaotic? What tool? And I can keep going back to our natural state of being. So humans that live in harmony with nature, let's use the Amish as an example, for the most part, to the best of my knowledge, at this current time and place, live in harmony with nature, right? And when we started farming, I think about the farming, I think about the planting the seeds and controlling nature to go into rows so that we could harvest it and start to treat it as property versus food for all. Would I be correct on that? You got anything to add to that, Norma?
I mean, it's about that balance. It's about the balance of understanding nature in what it provides, and understanding that we provide to nature in our fluidness of that flow, that just that unabated, balance that we keep to understand. Well, this is nature. It's perfect in its own way, and yet it has its imperfections, just as the human being does as well. And nature has its dueling, forces that works within it, just as we have our dueling, energies and the forces that work within this realm of existence. So when we look everywhere, that's the reason why when we look at the toroidal field and the earth, they both resemble, and they're very mirrored as to what goes on with the human, just as is what happens within the space and place of the earth, and what it shows us and provides us and lets us know, hey, this is what's taking place within you as a collective. Let's see what we can do about simmering this down, get back to the roots of who we really are. And let's just focus on what's going to bring that balance within ourselves so we can bring the balance back to earth.
Yeah, and it's not about consuming new, and it's about remembering. So this isn't something that it's about letting go and letting things depart with love and grace. Whatever your attachments are to things, right? Whether it's people, places, or things, to let go of those attachments. So as we were planting the seeds in the rows, and then, oh, this would go faster if we got the animals to pull the plow, right? And so then it switches, and now the animals are part of the system to plant the seeds, to control the seeds, to control the animals. Oh no, now we've got property, and then we're controlled, right? It is such a slippery slope, but it's happened over and over and over again in that aspect, in that sense. And each time, like, look what we live in now. We all live in cubes, right? We all live in squares. We all live in our own personal prisons. really, because that energy doesn't get to flow in there the same way. It definitely takes some extra attention and intention to keep a home flowing with better energy. But then you look at, some of the Tartaria buildings, or uh, I think some of the most beautiful temples that I can think of that I've been to, or even any of the pyramids. Where the heck did this square come from? And so the more, go ahead, Lerma.
I mean, when we look at how everything really works here, it's esoteric as well as exoteric, and then the esoteric is where we, as we look at history and we look at all the information that's out there first, just to utilize as just a way to understand more of where we are.
Yeah.
When we look at the pyramid and we see what its purpose was, to be able to understand the wholeness of the circumference of this place in which we existed upon, which is called Earth, Gaia, whatever it is that you call it. And but it was also to be able to measure with, not just the measurement of circumference, but this is where even just the creation of the pyramid, this is where they begin to understand how to be able to measure out specific land and say, this is for our people. This is for, for us to utilize, in our way to be able to provide for the people that exist within this certain territory, which is what we call weights and measures. Mm-hmm. So, but it was something that was also utilized to be able to take control. And, you look at this with kings, emperors, and rulers, and so forth and so on. So now it's just, can we just get back to the root of the meaning of the purpose of what it truly represented, and utilize that in a way to bring back that balance and that harmony of that understanding within ourselves, because it's basically just getting back to remembering. It's about getting back to, oh, this is what this purpose and significance was for this to be built. Although there's always going to be that other side that plays out, because we're in a dualistic realm.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well put. Well, and I think about a teepee or even a tent, right? When we go back to the shape portion of the thing, they're better structures. Even A-framed houses, right? There's a reason, right? There's a beautiful reason. So awesome. So then we go along, and as we pull further, like, I never knew that putting seeds in the mouth would assist. I never knew that copper, like, think of all the things you've learned or remembered. And because as soon as you read it, you were like, oh, well, yeah, of course we did that, right? You have a remembering. It's one statement, it's one sentence, sometimes just one word that triggers you to recall and then reignite within yourself those memories, those questions. And you, like Norma always says, having this dialogue with yourself. What else can I remember? What else do I need to know that is helpful at this time? And so when I see the world so divided right now, it's taken it from, we planted the seeds and it's gone all the way to the seeds are now all, yeah, they're all computerized, they're right. So there's just, and it's been eons of this going on. So be kind, not just to yourself, but to others. And I can tell you, whatever you're reading online about what's going on, you don't have all the facts. Absolutely freaking not. Nobody does. Not right now. But damn, there's a lot of controversy going on so that everyone can sit there and argue, because that's just collecting energy as well and keeping you very distracted. So we bring it back to self. That's what I'm suggesting for everyone. Bring it home to you, and then get to know you, all of you, unconditionally. This is what these eclipses are for. They're for shaking things up a little bit. See what needs to come up. Be brought from the darkness to the light and alchemized. And you need to be able to be that really big container for yourself. And you're going to hit your edges. And it's going to be uncomfortable. but you're going to release, and then you're going to steady, stabilize, and then keep going. Same as expanding consciousness. You have to have room for all of you. You can't say, you ain't coming in here unless you're all love and light. That doesn't work. No, Jane.
No, because then I just have to say it. And then you're just being really ignorant to where you are,
Yeah,
to who you are, and and it's just it's fascinating because it takes an enormous amount of courage to be the change.
mm-hmm.
It takes even that much more courage to be within the change. For even if you're not changing, everything around you is. So that's where, just be honest with yourself. Hey, even if I'm not willing to change, I am willing to speak to that things are changing around me. However, I know that at this point in time, in my ability to know that I can change at any moment of any second of any hour, minute of this day, if that brings forth a greater aspect of self, because I choose that greater aspect. I choose to know, I choose to want to be that greater aspect, to know that I don't have to be the struggle, that in that change, if I choose to change, I choose to change to become more than I could have ever thought I could be. And that takes sitting in an observable position and have that neutral stance, that as you look at your life and the choices you've made and understood that you only made them from the place and space of your knowing then, that it brings about just a greater opening. We get ourselves out of this, this box, this prison, this prism that is so angled. That's the reason why it's great to be in nature. As T always says, get yourself out in nature, because at least in nature, even rocks, even though they may have jagged edges, they still have smooth areas of that curvature. So when we understand that what we're within, if we fully are just being honest with ourselves, okay, I live within what's considered a box, yet what can I do? And that's where feng shui comes in as well, because we are in such angular places. And that feng shui is what helps open it up and bring in that fluid flow of that movement, where if we don't have things set up properly, then it's going to hit those angles, and it's in that energy is not going to flow in that fluid purpose, in that fluid freely way. And that's really going to bring in more of that agitation, irritation, not feeling like you can just be what you feel you want to be, when your environment is not giving you or providing you that visual or that place where you can just relax into it.
Just do it. Relax into it. Yeah, absolutely. We even on a sunny day last week went and lied down at the beach. So that's a good reminder too, that being barefoot on earth is great. Hands on a tree, great. You want to really rock your world, get your feet into some salt water, right? Or a river, because all that water holds memory and you can talk to it, or have a bath and talk to it. Get back to your natural state. Whenever you feel discombobulated, frustrated, angry, pause. What is triggering me right now? From a kind, gentle place, not like angry. And when you get to that trigger, okay, well, where does this stem from? Where does this come from? You will get an answer. Just need to be patient with yourself. And sometimes that bit of an active meditation, like a walk in the woods, will help you with that. Need some space alone to work through this, because I really want to know where the root cause of this is. And I look at patterning from, especially in my relationships, and it all stems back to a lot of it comes back to childhood, right? And then once you can do that and you can link it, it's like, oh, we can let that go, because I have a whole new perspective on that now. I see. Thank you for showing me. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself like you're raising your own inner child now, because it never really got to when you were a kid. It was never loved and cared for and allowed to express the way it wanted to. It was shut down, quieted, controlled, and for the interest of all around you, it was safest just to shut it all down. And so now we get to this point where we get to open it up again. And it's like unpacking a present, a really good present. So you've got both sides coming out. Can you nurture and love thyself in both ways? Yeah. Thank you, Antonio. Beautiful. And the body is the soul is the body. The body is the vessel that your soul ignites, operates it. Now, it's not to say that the body won't run for a little bit once your spirit's or your soul is departed and transformed, or is watching from the corner of the room. There's much that goes on in that way, but it's just it's the transition. It's such a beautiful process once you realize that death is not finite. That's it. It's done. We're finished. What a horrible way to live. Yeah. And that goes for being angry at yourself, being angry at the neighbors, being politically divided. I just keep observing it from a really neutral position. I'm like, oh, that was good information. That's interesting to know. Do I believe it all? I don't know for a fact myself because I'm not witnessing it. I don't see it in my day-to-day life. That's the most beautiful part. And you talk about that all the time too, Norma Jean.
Yeah, it's our beliefs make us or break us. And it just, it's not a good or bad thing, because it just is what it is. Our beliefs either propel us forward in our understanding of who we are, what we're here doing and that's having experiences. And then through those experiences, are those experiences helping us grow that much more in our understanding that when we have that experience and we don't reject what that experience brings back to us, excuse me, that what is bringing back to us is we already had the knowledge of the understanding of what we understood, but that question is what sends out that energy to bring back that tangible experience. Mm-hmm. So you see, that's the gift. Or those beliefs also can break you in some ways, because beliefs, people have a tendency to hang on to them like there's no tomorrow. And that sometimes those beliefs, when we hold on to them so tightly, is what definitely prevents us from growing and changing. It is probably one of the greatest resistant things to hold on to, and that's a belief. That we must understand that everything is fluid. Our beliefs must be that as well.
Yeah, and this has been said many times over the past week, but I'll repeat those things that are most important so that maybe it resonates with you as well. Is that it's when we were kids and we went to school, for Norma Jean, it was having to wear shoes after being barefoot outside all the time. Talk about like discomfort, like immediate and constant. And a reminder that when one writes that, I think I was just damn happy to get out of the house. I can tell you that right now. Like, all right, I'm out of this shit show for a while. I'm gonna go see what's over here and what's going on over here. But those tests, as soon as you were told there's a test on Friday or you have homework, I can't believe how much homework Jade had. I'm like, this is ridiculous. What are they doing in school? Like, it's just, it just became such a deep-seated program and belief system for people. And then it put you in the future. You weren't in the now. Kids are so good about being present. It took away the presence, which is a gift. And so I'm looking forward to this, again, this harmony with nature, this energy experience. Kids can read blindfolded. We can communicate telepathically when not so distorted from so much. And so we have these amazing gifts. We're all superhumans. Just got to cut out the noise so you can start to connect with it. And if projecting your anger is the way that you're doing it, I'm feeling for you right now, because that's exhausting. So I love to take time for self. I've been getting more and more selfish all the time. So I did a shiatsu treatment last week. Last night we went to the pool. Saturday night at one of the local rec centers. There's me on Google Maps. Oh no, that one's way too busy. This one, we're going to this one. And we went and there was maybe 7 or 8 adults there. That's it. And so, yeah, it was beautiful. I really got to have a bit of a swim, which is good. Yeah, in a whirlpool. What they call it, a whirlpool. It's a soup hot tub, but then you always go steam, cold shower, and I always end on the steam so I can sweat any chlorine out that I may have picked up. So you make the best of every situation you have. Did help you sleep better last night, Norma Jean?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, to a level and degree.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping quite deeply here, probably for, I'd say, maybe the last 4 or 5 days. That I mean, I'm not even getting up and going to the restroom, and I still drink water. But it's fascinating that my travels, my dreams, I'm so there, so to speak, even though I'm not bringing, the fullness of the remembrance of what's taking place. But it's like I'm becoming more and more active and more conscious in my travels and in my dreams. So it's something that I've just noticed that is starting to become a little more aware for me in my awareness, that my consciousness seems to be working and finding that balance in my restful and dream state just as much as it is here. So it is that balance of that give and take, that whatever I come into understanding in the physical definitely affects what I experience in the esoteric, the sleep realm, whatever it is you call it.
Your travels.
Yeah, so it's been quite fascinating for me, because there's something to this that I know that I'm coming into more, as like I said, the more I come to understand who I am, why I'm here, just to merely have these experiences, and in that position and place and role of having that balance of the heart and the mind meeting in the middle to bring forth a greater understanding of my intent, of the focus of the experiences I say I want to have, where I know that I don't have to speak to certain things anymore, because now it's that, oh, I remember, I do know this stuff. I do know. So where is it that I can get more intentional, where I can bring forth a greater structure to the focus of how I want to have my next experience?
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, Antonio, here. Absolutely. Same language. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. And getting back into nature, like, I don't know. I know we have a little bit of planting to do downstairs. Oh, I was going to finish off on the dream thing first. So get this, I have this dream. Don't ask me why or how it happened. You know me. But my eyebrows all like, I don't know, my eyebrows were way thicker, and then it was a little bit chopped off. I was like, what was that about? Like, seriously.
Sounds like you went back to the 80s a little bit, because you remember when they used to shave their eyebrows and stuff, because it was like a cool thing.
I don't know, but I'm just gonna say it, and I didn't even tell you this yet. I went to go grab the thinning shears, and I grabbed the scissors, and I went a little bit of spot. So
now that tells me a reason why it seems like, why does it seem like it's gappy right there for her with her hair? Now I know.
I have to laugh at myself, because if I was like, That's what that dream was about. It was like, we're warning you, be more present.
Exactly.
You do have to laugh, and I laugh at myself a lot. I could be all alone in the house, and all you'd hear is giggling. So that's just where I'm at. But back, whether you're having lucid dreams, and we've given lots of even feedback on these dreams and how to remember them, and writing down, and having a recorder, and putting attention in the water, right, to get it set up so it's because water has memory. If you did nothing else but reconnected to water and your food and sent it love as you were making it, like Norm always talks about this. Yeah, takeout food just isn't made with love, Tanya, just being honest. Because everything I make, there's an attention to all of it. Norma G makes the salad, it's like military perfect every time. Every single one. She's so intent and so present when she's doing it.
Not that it's purposeful or that it's just a part of it.
No, but it's super sweet. So then it's something to note, and it's true. Like half the time when you eat out, it's like, that wasn't as good as it could have been, or maybe it is something you couldn't cook and you did enjoy it. It doesn't really matter. But connecting with the water and connecting with your body, that running energy through the body, standing barefoot, talking to a stream. Just go sit by a stream. Yeah. I mean, you are water. This vessel. So in a lot of ways, we can liken this to like, you're the captain of your own ship. You wanna travel, you can travel. Right? So, but you have to take good care of your ship. You want it to last a long time here. The more fun and more experiences you have, the better, right?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because what we was talking about. I was talking about the catamaran, and
Oh yeah,
and having a captain and stuff, and you get into you have these people that go out and they'll rent yachts, and on these yachts they have the crew members that go on and they take care of the boat. Well, it's the same thing for the vessel, and
yeah.
they have to ensure that they keep the salt water down on the vessel and its outer layer in order to eat away at the vessel, and so when we look at a lot of what is outside of us to represent that which was once within us, then we become to understand the profoundness of how it's amazing to me sometimes, but it just is what it is. But it still fascinates me that it's just that they'll take care of something so solid and materialistic over something that is so much more vital to them in order for them to be able to continue on in this experience. And it's the vessel in which we are within. And, I'm still working on that myself. I'll get up and I'll do stretches and things like that. Me, once I'm focused on something and I'm intentional, I'm in it, and I'll sit just because I'm there, I'm getting it done, because for me, it's like, I have this day. I want to get this created because I know that I know the intention of how I feel about how I'm creating this and how I'm putting it together and how I want to be able to present it and things like that. And as I do this, even as for myself, I've noticed that I've gotten better at how I bring a presentation together, how I bring, this content that I'm creating in a fluid-like motion in order to present it in a way that others will be able to utilize it in their own way.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's the whole, well, when you're in that mode of, it's almost like you're co-creating, really, right? You got a whole team that you're working with. Absolutely. Yeah. No. And right now I'm deconstructing. What do I need to let go of? What else is there that my attention and intention is involved in that it no longer needs to be? And so if I choose that I will be more free, more roamy, I can roam where I choose, when I choose, which is events, that we want to do around the world, that we are booking around the world. Around the world, around the world.
I see Rome. B-52.
Right?
Rome if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
Roam around the world. See, yeah.
There you go. We got you singing too.
Yeah. Wow.
Perfect. And then also knowing that this is the March is eclipse season. It's this let go kind of energy going on. You're going into creation, and then I'm going into a deep like letting go, because I can't do anything the same as I've been doing it for anything else. This is a new creation, even though it's I call it a core creation. So one, it's like AFC has its center, and then AFC goes like this. We'll play over here. Ah, look at that. Ah, no, we're gonna go back over this way. It's just like the adventure game of life. That one, you will never stay stagnant, people. You will never, like, I look at my painting business, and it's like the natural growth progression was to grow and be number one in North Vancouver, and then go and grow it elsewhere. I am so glad that I clued in well before that got that. I have no interest in that now. Absolutely not. No interest whatsoever. So, in order to unpack, unravel, even that which I've created around that energetically, and keep it as a standalone, it's a different energy I show up there than I do over here. And so, although many of my painting clients get lots of seeds planted. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Awesome, Michael. Yes, Sedona. So Sedona, Michael's coming to Sedona. So excited. Yeah. So I give a little bit of a itinerary, and I just love this element of surprise. And that every time we go somewhere, this is a new home for me. I'm not even getting to walk into it first, which I normally do. But the two ladies walking in with they do know. They've been to events, so they know. So a bit of a setup and energetic setting, getting things set up and organized. But generally that first night is just about connection. It's just about actually getting to feel each other's energy, and share some stories. I'm really hoping there's some sort of outdoor fire pit with that beautiful barrel sauna that's there. And then every day we're going to go explore and play. First morning connection, little meditation. Maybe you meditate alone, that's fine too. And then a little circle time breakfast, pack a lunch, and then we head out. And so there's several different areas to explore. Now, I'm really, really, really big on sitting in the shade outside and just feeling the energies. And there's a couple spots I do want to do that I know are quite powerful. And then there's definitely spaces where we're going to go. And I think, Michael, that was you that sent me the one with the natural water slide. So it's a co-creation. So we all agree on what we're doing. We all agree that this is an exploration of self and this beautiful planet. And and for some reason, I think Mars comes. Does Mars? There's something's going on with Mars, and around that time in April, because Tamara said to me, she goes, "Oh, and during that Mars time, look at you being on the red rocks, right? Like that alignment that you've got going on with that." So quite profound. So, anyways, it's all about play, fun, and deep rest, self nourishment. Yeah. I'm not one to go on a vacation and wear myself out so bad that I come home needing a vacation from my vacation. The goal is to come home rested and rejuvenated with a new perspective that you can bring into your life because you picked up some new tools for your toolbox. That's my wish for everyone there. Norma Jean, you should be coming.
Arizona is a beautiful place. It's actually quite amazing. I was talking with T about it yesterday. I've been to Arizona twice, and I just love the feel of Arizona. I love the cocopellas or cacopellas. I just love what's the word I'm looking for? Wow.
The construction of the homes.
Well, I love that, but
Adobe.
I love the wow. I just love the feel of Arizona and what it represents and the things that they create in there. And I can't believe that word's not coming to me, but it's a beautiful place. And
Architecture?
huh?
Architecture?
Well, that, but it's there's another word to it. And I can't believe I can't think of it right now.
That's okay.
So yeah, it's a beautiful just experience. Because I've been through the Tombstone. I think it was in Glensdale, and I was able to just see a lot of different things that I've never seen before, and being able to see the landscape and see all the red and just be in there. It was like you could still really feel a lot of what you would call Indian energy there.
Mm-hmm.
That, but you could also feel, what seems to be Aztec Mayan as well. And it's a blend of, it seems, those types of energies that are there in Arizona. And so, going and being amongst the rocks and experiencing the landscape, that was definitely, because I'm from Georgia. So even being in that landscape was a totally different just experience for me. And so it's, just go there with such an open mind and heart to just be prepared for that connection with others, connection with self, connection with the land, connection with the energies that exist there, because the energies show so much. And because it is Arizona and it is red, that there probably is a lot of the energy of what you would consider the energy of Mars, because Mars is representative of just that red, coloring, the deep orange and, fire. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful, I can only imagine just the experience that you will create as well as have with others when you get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's funny, as you mentioned that, I just had another vision of like taking the chakra colors and we're going to be burning them up and activating the solar. So the merging of the two. Terracotta, is that what you were thinking of? Or the word? Was it terracotta? Never mind. That's okay. And the other thing is, as you were saying that, it goes back to those states, our natural state. Well, every state in the US, it's almost like it has a theme, right? Or it has a sports team. And it's almost as if there's always been this duality to pit people against each other, even just based on sports, based on, we got beaches, oh, we got mountains. Like it's always a competition. What are you competing for? It's really, nature is just natural, and all of us should be able to enjoy it and explore it. Absolutely. Especially Ayers Rock. I want to be on that Ayers Rock. That's what we're going to do when we go to Sedona. We're going to set the attention for Ayers Rock. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Raya's going to be there. She just popped in. I was like, oh, yeah, we'll just set that intention while we're there. Yeah, this ability. So we've been talking a lot about travel and just really connecting with Earth. I've done more grid work than, I don't really talk about it very much, because to me, it's just part of being in nature for me is to plug in clear quartz crystals and to give myself, I've done dowsing rod videos on it. Where would you like this planted? And somebody said, oh, you're following the deer path. It doesn't matter if I'm following the deer path or not. Or we go walking out into this space and I'm like, holy cow, this is this is where all the ships land. People are like, what? I'm like, look at it. You can feel it. And so there's a place in Burnaby here with the same. So no matter what, when you take your energy, you're all grid workers. When you take your energy out in nature, you leave a trace. When you pee outside, you leave your DNA. We are in harmony with nature. We took it away. We put all of our garbage in, like, it's so crazy how we deal with garbage now versus a more natural way. Why all the packaging? Like, some things when I open it up, I'm like, this is so ridiculous. Does nobody see what I see? This is why it's good to get to the farmer's market and do things one-on-one with the actual people that raise the food. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi,
Us,
oi, oi.
us.
To get reconnected or grow your own food, play. Because if you go back to when you were a child, and I'm bringing a full circle with the nurture thing, we strayed so far, and now we're all coming back, and we're going to live in harmony with nature again. Doesn't need to be the same as it was. It doesn't need to mean that we may have a perception around it that it was a struggle. Oh, but turning on lights in the house is so much easier. Yeah, but it's not good for your body, right? So it's good to have candlelight at night. I love fire. We love going to Vidette because it's a full unplug. Yeah. So yeah, and we've when you take things and you visualize it, how good can it get? How amazing can it be? And I'm like, well, I'm not messing around. So if one was able to be involved somehow in a catamaran that had like 8 to 10 berths, and they are out there, then one could travel all through Greece, Europe. You could just like go hang over there, and you would always be walking new territory and new lands. You would have so many opportunities. So wouldn't that be fun for a bit? Like, I don't know. It kind of lights me up. Remember, Jean? What are you giggling about?
Great ball.
Oh,
No, I'm excited to get back to Vidette. I'm excited because it is an unplug. It is a silence. It is a place where I can really hear myself and really just be within that natural state. It really, really brings out that remembrance of what it is to be in a natural, silent, not all the noise place state. And I love the silence. I absolutely adore having that time and chance just to walk and really get my senses back in tune with the sounds of nature without, like right now, hearing an ambulance flying by right now, or hearing the buzz and the hum of the electrical wires, or hearing, the sound of cars going by and all the time. So you hear the water, you hear the slightest like movement within the environment of where
you
you
know
are.
when a bird's flapping its wings,
Mhm.
you hear it, or you hear the otter, or you know when there's a different sound. You're so in tune with your environment. You cannot be in tune with your environment in the city. You've actually got to put up like I protect my energy, because if you don't, you're picking up a lot of, and that's a lot to filter. Not to say you can't do it, but definitely, yeah, it's
And I
nice
mean,
to
yeah,
we have a debt ready to go. June long weekend. We're gonna add a silent day for that one. Yeah.
because at night, if there's a clear sky, you want to know what a womb truly looks like. Be at Vidette Lake.
Yeah.
Be at Vidette Lake.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think Mother Earth is happy right now. She's just choosing to move along. She's choosing to shake off that vibration, whatever no longer, like, I'm done with this game, you guys, I'm done with this. And we will come to that. I can feel it. I can see it, actually. I can see it. And so that is having the ability to future visualize without being living there permanently, right? But bringing those little pieces back. Okay, now show me how I can bring that here now. Because if I'm going to focus on just what's happening outside right now, that's way too far behind. If we want to move forward past the division, how do we get to the other side of that, right? So it is finding the peace within us first, getting back into our own natural balance and harmony within. For whatever is divided within us will show itself outside of us. We've done lots of testing lately around, around what is said, what is shown or spoken about, and then what shows up on my phone. I'm like, oh yeah.
But it's fascinating because when I was just having, I was outside and I was having time. What had been coming across was, we've been talking about, in time we're going to have these properties that we're going to, bring together as a community
Yes.
and as a tribe and things like that. So it was like I was just sitting there and I was just letting just fluidness of just thoughts just come through of that natural common way of being with nature. That, it was a visualization of that, finding these wild cows. And I was like, interesting, because how many cows do you know that are wild anymore? But it's like, it wouldn't be coming through me if there's not some possibility that there are what you would call natural wild cows out there, where, depending on where we would go and, set up these communities, is that they would show up. And, you would have the bull, you would have the mare, and you would find ways just to bring them into your community and utilize them for whatever purposes or reasons you may need to utilize them for. And then that's like kind of almost getting back to that natural, because cows are, I won't say it's the greatest thing in this moment in time, but back in the day, they were revered because they were so vitally important to the infrastructure and how they did their gardening. How the cow was revered because it was something that that took care of the people through the meat, through the milk, through the processes of what a cow in Brahma represented at that time. So it's getting back to that natural way of being with nature. That is the purpose for why we want to bring these communities forward and make them manifest. It's about getting just back into that natural state and flow of that balance that we seek to have within ourselves, but with nature again. So that way we are replenishing Mother Earth with those natural minerals and vitamins. And that's where, instead of taking and throwing your scraps out, is giving it back to the land as a compost pile and things like that. So
absolutely. Sorry, I'm laughing because it goes on. Cows are, Ray in Australia says cows are everywhere where I live. And then Carolyn in the background, thank you so much, love, for being there. Canada, we have the moose. Stunning. Well, all right. Then Kriba says there are cows where I work, computers on wheels.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right? But the funny thing is, and another funny thing, Canada, we have the moose. Stunning. I've been charged by a bull moose while sitting in the passenger seat of a vehicle. And I look over and I'm like, oh, he looks like he's running right for the truck. Boom, hit the cab right behind me and had to be put down. So that was very stunning for him and those of us in the vehicle. Yes. Yeah. This is a hunting outfit. I was like, do you do that with all your guests? That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Here we keep it real.
Right? Yeah. So a lot of respect for living in harmony with the land. And I'm already seeing a lot of aid would be more around that free energy. Like there's lots out there already that are quite small.
Mm-hmm.
Not solar. It's free energy. It's just a matter of tapping into it. Yeah. And those fires outside, like I can already see all those. So the idea is to have one on a floating one and then 10 or 11 more. And it would be more of a membership. I want to say more of a co-op than like anything else. But then there would be services for people to come. You want to come and unplug? Here's how it goes, and you get some guidance around it. It may even be you can't come in until you've had 3 days of silence. You're here. This is the pre-entry area, just to give people this instant transition. And maybe it'll happen even faster. I know people getting buried for 4 days in the dark and silent. Well, that's one way to commune with Mother Nature. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jamie, I do know. Yeah, yeah, I do know. I had a really big cry about the cows and the way that so how does a cow give milk? Well, it must have been pregnant, right? And so just that little cycle, there was a show I caught a few years ago of somebody had rescued this retired milk cow. And so it got to be out to pasture and live a life. And then one day the cow was not around. So they went looking for it and found it hiding a baby. They didn't know it was pregnant, but it actually consciously went and hid the baby from the humans. So you can't tell me cows are not conscious. Yeah, I cried. I was like, Mom. Some things
Very
just really,
reflect.
right. And as a mother, it's like, oh, well, fuck yeah. Can you imagine like that happening to you? So why is it okay, right? That's do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If we can't get a lick of common sense back to commonality, then use the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Want to elaborate on that one?
Yes, I would actually.
Finger pointer.
Sorry.
You need a laser.
What? When you talk about that, it's fascinating, because when you come to really just ponder what you just said, when you speak that and you say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, most humans only go to other humans as the others, nothing else.
Right.
They do not expand beyond that, knowing that others means
all sentient beings.
Right. Because you see, these sentient beings are here because of us.
Mm-hmm.
They're here because of us, but they're also here for us. So getting to the space and place is, if we talk about these situations of knowing how things have come from a natural state to a forced state, that tells us so much about why the human being and its ability to stay healthy and vibrant and all that shifted, because the human being shifted, which allowed the food in which we intake to shift as well. Mm-hmm. So this is about getting back to that common sense.
Yeah.
Get back to that natural state of understanding in a common way of understanding that if you don't know something about how to take care of a cow, how to do it in natural ways, whether it be as a cow, a garden, a cat, a dog, it doesn't matter. If you don't know it, go do research. But don't research always what's here and now. You're going to find more of that valuable information in your history. So it's about getting back to understanding that balance.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a beautiful story, Carolyn. A cougar saved a forest ranger's life by carrying his badge around his neck, and it went to the highway to find someone to help. It's a really beautiful story. Everything's conscious. I know many shaman stories of there was a woman who was so far in between. In other words, she was sleeping with the wildcats, right? But she was also emancipated. She was skin and bones. So she was almost living in that in-between world, if that makes sense. And to remember that you have to take care of your health too as you go through these processes. That finding that balance is key at all places. But I don't believe like a bear sets out to kill a human. I think it's really, I don't think a shark's just being a shark. There's lots of stories about sharks, but man, when they did Jaws, they did a number on humanity right there and then boom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, as far as we're, if you think about it, where bears are concerned, it's just, it's out of survival now.
Yeah.
Look at how much look at what we've done to nature. We've kind of taken what would be natural for them to go out and get their food and things like that. It's just like you talking about the hyperbaric pressure thing, bringing back more, what was it, salmon?
Yeah. Yeah, the atmospheric river brought in a plethora of salmon. I'm like, oh yeah, where were they all hiding? Did you have them just around the corner or what? Hey, all right, salmon, it's your turn. Come in.
Did they finally take the fence out of the water so they can come on
I
down?
don't know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But it's up to us. It's up to us. It's up to us by recognizing and understanding what is it about me that I need to purposefully and just rawly, honestly sit with self just to see that I'm not as bad as I've always thought I am, but yet recognize the choices that I made that might have brought me experiences that weren't so great and so profound. That helps me to have that understanding of that experience so I can integrate it in and remember, oh, I knew this already. Now I just have the experience of it. I know I don't have to have that experience any longer because I already have. So what is it I can take and utilize with this experience, since I've tangibly and integrated it and alchemized it in a greater understanding, and bring it forth in a way that doesn't just assist me in my growth and in my understanding, but it also can be something that I can provide in hand and guide as a tool to the human race, at least to the ones that are wanting to do the same as I, and that's bring those communities back together, bring some commonality back to that communal space in place.
Ace of Cups. We had this one yesterday. Yeah. Ace of Cups. We are divinely supported and guided. So focus on what you do want, not what you don't want. Keep focusing on that beautiful vision of what can be, what will be, what you see, versus wasting your time trying to convince anybody else of what you see or do. Yeah. And yeah, points for Norma wearing the Punisher today. I just had a vision of the Punisher, and then on the other side, even at the back, a heart. Even the Punisher needs love. Cindy says somebody left the gate open, right? Yeah. It's hard to know what's fact because the rivers aren't high. Not right now, they're not. So I find that really interesting. But I did have a client in West Vancouver. So she's way out on the way to Squamish. So on the way to Whistler, heading north, there's a full inlet where Squamish is. So you go up and up and up. And there's been two mills shut down. One was a pulp mill and one was a wood mill.
What are you doing over there?
We're celebrating that the mills got shut down because now the water is cleaning itself, and she's seen all kinds of whales and sea lions and ocean life that she's never seen before, and she's very happy that the water is all getting cleaned up. And she's one of my longest clients. I've known her, well, no, not my longest, but I've known her for probably about 15 years. Yeah. Yeah. So it's always like a regular visit because they're right on the water and there's lots of salt air and nothing really holds up. So it can be quite beautiful. Yeah. So I'm seeing if you have the eyes to see, you will see the good going on. It's what you focus on. And then you get more of that because you raise your vibration, you get a little excited, you have a laugh. Oh, look at me doing that again. Ha! Caught myself this time. And then you will find that you attract more of that which you desire because your attention and unconditional love for yourself is also floating out to everything around you because you realize that you can. Yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys. Sending you so much love. Nature always nurtures. Mm-hmm. Remember, Jean?
As I just say what I've said before and what I've said oftenly since I've come on this broadcast with you. Let it begin with me. Let it begin with me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many ways to come to understand who you are, the energy that you in the being, the energy being that you are, being in a place of wave and particles that is energy themselves. To
Yeah.
understand, the celestial beings, whether it be gods, deities, demons, whatever you want to call it, because it's about understanding the energies, because you're an energy being within an energetic place of dual. So reach out. We've got so much that we can help assist and guide you with. Just go on to adventureforconnection.com. Go check out what we have to offer. Go check out what it is that you feel that may be able to assist or give you that greater clarity of understanding who you are, if you feel that's something that you would like to be able to utilize in your understanding. So we're here. Reach out.
We're coming out. We're gonna play. All right. I'm off to Whistler. You'll see a little. Apparently, it's snowing up there. So, love you so much, you guys. Have a beautiful night.